Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a bit boring. We're going to go around the bug and write things down that I need to do so that I can get a plan of what's left on the bug. So let's head over there, start writing some stuff down, and make a list. So that's a pretty obvious one up first. The passenger side front inner wheelhouse needs a patch made. But that also means that inside, right there, I need to do the defroster tubes first. So let me write those two down. Also up here, I'm going to do some wire wheeling to get rid of all this surface rust. Inside, it's obviously got to get all cleaned out. I'm not going to write that down though. But I am going to start writing down things on the inside that need to be done. The front firewall and the connections at the heater channel need to be prettied up a bit. It's on there very solid, but like you can see, there's blow through from when the first one was put on with flux core wire. This is the second front firewall that's been in the car. The first one was welded too high up, so I had to remove it, and that left holes from when it was welded on the first time and from blow through from flux core. So I've got to fill that with weld or fiberglass filler or something. Probably weld. But all along the top, it's very solid. It's on there. It's not going anywhere. Along the side, grind those down. This is actually pretty good. That side, not too good. Fill that with weld more and do the inside flange there because I only welded on the outside. I also have to do that side of the inner wheelhouse up front. Just going to do welding all along that edge because it's on there. It's just there's large gaps because at that time the welder I was using was slightly broken, unknown to me at the time until I got it replaced, and it worked way better. The pans also need a coat of paint. Probably going to do Master Series. That's pretty good stuff. They sell it at the Stafford swap meet and online. I'll put a link in the description to that. Here, it's very good stuff. They have a demonstration Beetle wheel that they coated half of it with Master Series, and they leave it out. And I think it's been 15 years they've left it out in the weather the whole year, and it never gets rust on it on the side with Master Series. Right here on the inside where the rear wheelhouse is, I've got to make some panels and weld on there. I have to do that on both sides. Not to make panels part on the driver's side, but over here I do have to make a panel. Outside on the rear quarter panel, I have to fill all the little pinholes, pull it out with a body hammer because when I was welding it made this kind of dip in right here. And I have to pull this out and weld this bit to it. But then I'm going to use Duraglass or any other fiberglass reinforced body filler to cover that, so if any pinholes are missed, they'll be waterproof and all that. And I have to fill back here with the patch I make from steel, and that'll be good. And I have to finish this back here. A lot of stuff to do back here. I have to work on this part where the mounts for the bumper go through into the body. It's not too bad. I just have to weld here and here and use a body hammer. It won't be too hard. Under the hood, you can see how ugly the back of the firewall is from the first replacement. I'm gonna have to clean that up a bit, but I don't think it's gonna affect it that much. The front firewall is very solidly welded on there. But up top, you can see where I drilled all the spot welds out because I thought I was going to replace the whole firewall, but I decided against it. So I'm going to have to fill all these holes with weld. It's going to be slightly annoying. Nothing too hard though. Also up here in the spare tire well, this was rotten. I cut out a piece that was rotten, and a friend of mine is giving me a piece off of a car that he's scrapping that I'm going to fix that with. This has been here since I replaced this side rear quarter panel, and I never got to fix it. I'm going to cut this out where the Sharpie line is, make a little panel and fix that. Then put more fiberglass reinforced filler. I'm not going to use a ton of it. I don't want to put a whole bunch of filler on this car, but where I have to use it, I'm going to use it. I'm not afraid of using filler. I don't think it's awful. I think any car that has perfect body lines and everything must have some bit of filler on it, and it's not awful if used the right way. Also back here, you can see fender bolt holes. Have to work on that. Nothing too hard. I've done those up front, I think. Also part of the quarter is this piece right here that the heater channel welds to. I have made a patch for this. I'm going to weld that in soon. You can see lines where I've scribed where I'm going to cut. That won't be too difficult since I've already made the patch. Back here, getting into little annoying things that bother me. There's like a dent here, or this is pushed out, or something, and there's a noticeable bump here when you run your hand against it. And when the car's painted black, the light's going to reflect. That's going to be noticeable. If the car wasn't going to be black, it wouldn't annoy me as much, but I'd still fix it because that's just really annoying. The engine isn't really that bad. It does run. About 10 years ago, it had the case was replaced and the engine was rebuilt. I'm just going to go through it, make sure it runs well, and get this fuel filter out of here because this is dangerous, especially with no clamps. You want to put the fuel filter somewhere not in the engine bay, by the transmission, underneath the gas tank, just not here, because if this was to fall off, fire would happen. If this were to fall off, the fuel in the fuel filter would go all over the engine, fire would start, and a lot of people lose their Volkswagens that way. Buses, Bugs, Karmann Giz, Volkswagens, all of them alike. You can lose your Volkswagen that way, and it's something very easily preventable that a lot of people don't do, and even if they're told, hey, get that fuel filter out of there, they just brush it off, and then it's possible they could lose their car because of it. It's just silly. You can move it, so get that out of there, get it running, replace this engine seal. That'll be that in here. After all that metal work and filler and paint, hopefully I have a friend that said he's going to paint it. I've decided not to go with the original paint because I did find places like this quarter panel where there's rust underneath, so there was a reason they painted it, just not everywhere it was needed. I'm going to start working on the interior, get a headliner. I've got new red seat covers in the basement. I'm going to do a video on that seat cover replacement. I got a headliner I'm going to do because this one's got all these tears in it, and back there it's just not even there. I'm going to do that, new mats, new carpet, hopefully. Right there. I have the radio, which I think is original. The car was bought August 31st, 1967. So by then, 1968 Beetles were on the lot. And the radio in the car, I believe, was appropriate for a 1968 Beetle. So I think at the time when this car was bought, he did get a radio, but they did not have Sapphire V radios, or 5, however you want to say it. And they put a newer one in. But I'm hoping to get a 8-track radio for it. Of course, pointing at the wiring loom, wiring harness, the wiring's gonna have to be redone. I don't know if I'm gonna do a full harness or if I'm just going to use the factory one and just redo wires that need to be redone, but that'll need to be gone through as well. So here you can see my awful handwriting. What needs to be done? I'll put this in a like a Word document to put on the screen to show you. It looks like a small amount of things, but it really is. I guess it's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. I hope it doesn't take too long. A lot of this stuff I could probably get done in a weekend, but I mean, I don't always have time to do that. But hopefully it's done soon and it's on the road. Right, so you can see here's a list of things that need to be done to the Beetle. Everything that I said in the videos here. We've got defroster tubes, the wheelhouses, firewall, heater channel, floor pan paint, etc. It's really not that much stuff. Like I said, it doesn't look like a lot, but it is a lot of work to get all this stuff done. Hopefully it's done pretty soon though. Nothing is huge to do, I don't think. Maybe if I do a whole wiring harness and paint, but everything else is pretty, not going to say easy, but it's not that hard. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. I know it wasn't that exciting, but figured I'd make it anyway. If you did like it, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new here to see some more Volkswagen content in the future, and make sure to check out older videos if you want. Like I said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.